special podcast on Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the show. It's an FX show. I guess if you're watching a podcast about it, you're probably familiar with it. We're going to be breaking down some of our favourite episodes and just kind of talking about the show and how it's progressed to its most recent season, which we'll do a breakdown of the first episode in the audio only section.
Okay.
So, introduce yourselves, I guess.
So I'm Charlie, massive fan of It's Always Sunny since 05. Been on
Since
the block
05.
watching it. It's all good.
You were 5.
I was 5 years old watching
5
It's Always
years
Sunny. I started.
Wow.
Well, okay, I'm Dylan. I'm also a big fan of It's Always Sunny. Haven't been watching it since 2005.
Rookie
No.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Mistakes.
Thanks to Netflix, I'll say, I've been watching it because, been up on there. I've managed to binge it within a couple of weeks. 'Cause that's just how good it is.
I'm Alistair, and I got into Always Sunny after Dylan told me about it, and I watched a couple of episodes with him. And it's easy to get into the show. It's just so funny, and the characters are so good, and the stories are really funny to watch.
I kind of feel like
a great
it's our sort of generation, like the ages of like 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that sort of humour, and I don't know, it's definitely a more modern sort of millennial humour sort of show.
Yeah, definitely.
different kind of take on the sitcom.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
format.
it's very much so an anti-sitcom, I'd say, because you look at the show and there's like no conventions apart from obviously having characters who
In a
each-
situation.
in
Yeah.
a situation.
And it's comedy.
Yeah, there's no real, there's no laugh track, which is always something really nice to see in like a modern comedy, because who wants to be told when to laugh?
Mm.
Yeah,
whilst watching the show.
No, definitely.
It's a lot drier and it's a lot darker. You won't get your classic sort of like
Friends vibe, yeah.
where you've got
Oh,
like
yeah.
romantic
Can't
jokes
make
being
them
made,
up. Yeah.
and they're very much set up punchline. Because Sunny also relies a lot on long running gags as well for like the character traits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like with Charlie's illiteracy and stuff.
It definitely hangs on dark humour.
Yeah.
I feel like that is something which appeals to sort of our age group.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess-
Millennials and Gen Zs definitely the issues that they bring up really
Yeah,
affect.
it's always been very topical as well. I mean, starting in 2005 and stuff, it's stayed sort of as relevant to the modern media, and especially in the most recent seasons, there's really topical subjects and stuff, which very much play on current affairs and stuff in the media.
They make a satirical version of what's going on, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
It's great.
Despite it being a fictional pub in Philadelphia, they're very much living in the same world that we are. So they still make comments on stuff like Trump, stuff like just like wars around the world, which is something that they touch on quite a lot in the earlier seasons.
And like poverty,
Yeah,
and like how the American society, and they play on religion. One of the Mac is Christian,
yeah,
big time Christian, and a lot of Americans are.
yeah. I think Mac's character is sort of like a typical American character. He's like, he wants to be really tough, and he's a Christian, and he's
Yeah.
sort of like
Yeah.
plays on that quite a lot.
Well, yeah, Rob just takes
Yeah,
Max
I mean,
characters. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant screenwriting. It's brilliant.
Rob, Glenn, and Charlie Day, along with another team of writers, all write the show. So, writing your own characters, I feel like, is such like an advantage
Yeah,
in
yeah,
TV,
definitely.
because you can really sort of base it around yourself and play to some of your own strengths, because you're in acting.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they.
Well, yeah, looking at like early interviews of them,
Yeah.
and and Rob saying that the only way that he's actually going to make the show is if he gets,
Yeah, he gets. I mean, they get
produce-
final say in it, and they do
Exactly.
the editing. So
and that's what makes it so fresh,
yeah,
because it's not one of those watered down. Oh yeah, this is going on primetime TV. This is
Yeah,
going to
I
be
mean,
at 6
yeah.
o'clock.
when it first aired, it was on a Thursday night at 9 o'clock on FX, which in 2005 was a relatively unknown
Yeah,
network, which is why they ended up bringing in Danny DeVito, because they needed that star appeal. They
Yeah.
were told by FX they need someone, and I think Danny DeVito plays into the character of Frank Reynolds,
Well,
perfectly.
Well,
yeah.
he's just a great actor.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, Danny DeVito is one for the
Yeah,
ages.
such an he's so established with everything that
Mm.
he's done.
But it's also that the weird characters, like he's done the Penguin in Batman Returns, and that
Yeah.
character's just a freak. Like, but
Yeah.
Well,
he's
it all
like
started
drooling
with
and
it all started
everything.
with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was, I mean, that's
So,
his first film.
To think his progression from that to
His
It's Always
range.
Sunny, now Jumanji,
Yeah.
Dumbo.
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 He's a well established actor, and it's good that Rob and Charlie and
Yeah.
Glenn managed to get him.
Mm.
I
on
mean,
board.
yeah, they're all. There's so you can tell in interviews that they're such good friends.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure working on a show with people always makes you sort of friends with each other, but with them, they really do seem like they all just really get on with each other and that helps as well. The acting, I think, it just really helps
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
the way that they bounce off each other because you can tell it's like a real relationship and they're not just friends because they're on a show together. No, the writers didn't go, I want you and you
Yeah.
as the actors.
yeah.
Because I mean, Charlie, Rob, and Glenn were friends before the show
Yeah,
started.
exactly.
I mean, it's probably the writing why they keep coming back. Because every single episode is like just there's always like a standard, and it's either better than the standard or is on standard. And the
Yeah.
standard, the bar is so is high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I never feel like Sunny fans, or in my case anyway, I never feel like they've declined in quality.
Mm.
I mean, there's the odd episode every here and there which isn't as good as the others, but I mean that's bound to happen. You've been on air for 14 seasons.
Yeah.
What, 10 episodes a season, 13 episodes a
Yeah.
season,
It's
And
gonna take a
for over
time.
15 years.
For a big star like Danny DeVito, always come back because you see
Yeah.
in shows like
You get
Community,
yeah,
people
I mean-
leave because they've got other stuff to do
Yeah.
or they have a fallout. But it's just because of the production and the writing and like all the character elements. People like
Yeah,
Danny
I
DeVito
think
do
it's
want
a
to come
really-
back.
like that's a great thing as well because it doesn't disappoint the fans.
Mm.
Which I feel like you said, Community. There was obviously Chevy Chase who ended up leaving because of creative differences,
Mm.
and that's something that I don't think you'll ever see in Sunny because they're all such like close friends. And they
Well,
get on
yeah,
so well.
it's there's a difficult point in many series where it gets to a point where it's stale,
yeah,
and it's as if with It's Always Sunny it hasn't hit that because they're just so they get along so well. They sit in a room writing, the three of them. I don't know how they don't go insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just bouncing ideas off each other would just drive the normal person insane. But because they've got such a cult following, it's as if
Yeah, I think the fans really help with their motivation for
Yeah.
it as well because they know that fans are going to show up each year and watch it as much as they did the year before.
exactly.
And that's something that it's just kind of I don't know, it's fresh about a show and it doesn't make it seem like every other sitcom. And you know, it shows because I mean 14 seasons in and it's still
Still
getting
fresh,
great
Still
ratings.
fresh. So
yeah.
just quick ones. Why maybe top three?
We each like.
Why do
top
we
three
each
Sunny
like
episodes.
Sunny?
Okay.
Why do
Um,
we each like Sunny? Maybe top three
I
reasons
you start with
I
this one.
I
wanna
think just from the first episode, I think I knew I'd like it.
yeah.
It's called The Gang Gets Racist, which is racism bad, yes.
Yeah.
Racism bad, and you straight away understand what's going on with these characters. They're
Yeah.
all like narcissistic and they're all like idiots and they don't
Unlikable
understand
people. Yeah.
and they're all unlikable. But from them going through the thing they say are racist and they find out, oh, that's wrong, that's bad. And
Yeah.
they put in situations where they like, for instance, Charlie says the N-word in it when he's
Yeah.
described, like he was quoting someone, but then someone goes, oh, are you Hitler now or something like that?
Yeah. Do you think if that episode was released today, do you think it would receive? I mean, that episode aired in 2005.
Yeah, although it was not that different of a time, I feel like it kind
Well,
of
obviously, with
was.
everything that's happening now in the Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter movement, Trump in power,
Yeah.
not
But
we're
it's-
getting political.
they're like, it's not a racist thing. They're like making fun of people
Yeah, well,
who
that's
are.
the whole.
yeah.
Yeah.
That plays into the whole anti-sitcom thing. The fact that in every sitcom you get people like I'm going to go back to Friends because Friends is always like the go-to comparison.
Yeah.
All of the cast are likable in certain ways because you're supposed to like them. They're
Yeah.
written so that you're supposed to like them. The cast of Sunny they're all terrible people.
Yeah.
And you're not meant to like them, but you like them because it's funny to laugh at them.
Yeah.
It's like the worst things you ever want to happen to you happen to them.
Yeah, and they're the worst sort of people, so you feel it's kind of like you don't feel bad laughing at people being in horrible situations. You don't feel bad about, I don't know, Dennis being accused of being a mass murderer, considering he's such a bit
Creepy.
of a sexual weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it's-
Yeah, but that's probably why I liked it from the start.
Okay.
Is 'cause I knew like it's gonna be highly satirical.
Okay,
And
so
something like that.
let's ignore the 3 then. What would be your one reason why you love Sunny? If
because
you
of
could
that,
pick
because
one
of that
thing,
episode.
just that one episode.
Yeah, it just demonstrates like how good of writers they are, and
Okay.
like all the acting is funny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
okay.
One thing.
One reason that I like it so much,
Yeah.
I think I'd say characters. Just like
Yeah.
and the character building that the writers have like brought into the show,
Yeah.
because they're all so different, but they all just work like perfectly together. And it's something that I don't think you see these sort of characters in
No.
anything else.
No.
You don't get.
They wouldn't be accepted in anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You couldn't put that on prime time.
Exactly.
TV.
Exactly.
And I think that they're sort of the way that they're written is just it suits the show. It is the show the way that they're written,
Yeah.
and I guess that's kind of the irony in the title as well. The fact it isn't always sunny in Philadelphia, because it is a dark show about people getting into horrible situations, which it's just enjoyable.
Exactly.
To watch.
Some people enjoy that. I mean, my reason for enjoying the show is the dark humor.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, doing a bit of research into dark humour in general, Willinger, I have written down here, he talks about how dark humour expresses the absurdity, insensitivity, paradox, and cruelty of the modern world.
Yeah.
And you just wouldn't, you would never want any of these situations to happen to people that you know. But
well,
that's
you wouldn't
the
want
beautiful
them
thing
to
of
happen in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's the beauty of media and beauty
fiction,
of TV
yeah.
and fiction, because these writers just put these
like-
people into the most ridiculous scenarios.
Yeah, and
like
that's the
possible.
sort of thing with fiction. It's also like a release of, you can have, like you said, you can make these horrible circumstances, show what they would be like, show why they're so horrible, and not have it actually affect anyone, because it's through a fictional TV show.
Exactly.
And it being a comedy adds to it, because everyone loves comedy. It's like the #1 form of release or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, just leading on from that, I mean, the dark humour's, obviously a massive part, but there's also a lot of light moments. There's a lot of good moments. There's a lot of things that certain episodes where they shed light on good things, like gay rights or
I mean that's the season 13 finale.
Yeah.
It's Mac Finds His Pride,
yeah.
which is one of the highest rated, not because of its comedy, which you would expect from a comedy show, but more so from its sort of commentary, political commentary.
It ties the whole character arc of Mac together.
Because it was always a joke that Mac was gay for like the most of the season, because they all thought that he was gay, even though he was a devout Christian and all of this. And then it finally resolves to the fact that he was, and he was always just so scared to show it. And I think, what was it? The gang
Goes
to
to hell. Goes to hell.
The
Part
gang goes
2.
to hell is when he finally admits it, because he. What is it? He's a Christian singing.
Yeah, they're on a Christian cruise,
Yeah,
and then he bumps into
the two priests, pastors, and they're gay, and he's like, "Oh, I can do that. I can be Christian and gay," and he's like, "Oh, it's cool,
perfect, win-win situation."
But the whole, as well, I heard it. Rob always wanted to have in his show that he wrote a gay character, because he was raised by 2 mums. His mum is a lesbian.
I did not know that.
Which is why he wanted to have this representation in the show. And he thought it'd be good to put it in the show also because, the show is about breaking boundaries and curveballs.
Yeah.
And what's a bigger curveball than a season full of humour just to have a really serious episode at the end?
I mean, the episode in general
it's actually really good. They have like a ballet performance, and it's like in the water with a professional ballet. was a ballerina. That's what it's called. Yeah,
That's the word.
It is like.
But even
amazing
it even
plot.
touches on the difficulty of actually coming out to
Oh
to
yeah.
parents. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Mac's father's
yeah.
in prison, and this is where he goes.
And he's always been a really tough guy that Max
Yeah.
looked up to and wanted to be like him and make him proud.
Yeah, even though he's talking about
Yeah.
smuggling drugs.
Drugs
in
into
his-
prison.
Mm,
He always wants to.
yeah.
What is it? He wants a game of catch with his dad.
yeah,
Is something that he always wants. But his dad will never say that he loves him.
yeah,
Which, yeah, I mean, it kind of speaks for, I guess, an audience of Americans as well, I guess, which might have been in the same situation as them. You know.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like you see it now. You see it nowadays. I mean, you see it on Twitter. Do you remember ages ago when that Shawn Mendes thing came out, where that girl was
No.
There was a girl who was talking to like a meetup
okay.
with Shawn Mendes,
Right.
saying this is a bit off topic, but it
Oh, yeah,
relates to it.
Yeah.
And she says like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming out as da 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 da.
Mm.
Can you like say something to my? Can you say something? My friend's recording it. Can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say something now, like
Yeah.
to my parents?" And he's like, "Nah, you need to do it yourself.
Oh,
Like you need to,
yeah,
you
I
need to say
think
it
I do
yourself.
remember
Like
that, yeah.
it shouldn't be on anybody else. You should be proud
You
of who
should
you
do
are."
it. Yeah.
I mean, and then relating back to it, Mac obviously goes and performs this
Yeah.
beautiful, touching
Yeah.
ballet
Performance.
at the prison that his
Mm.
father's at in front of all the male
Yeah,
inmates.
and they all love it.
They all love it,
Except
apart
for
from
Mac's
his dad.
dad,
Apart from
which
his
is-
dad.
Which I think it's, in terms of the writing, it is a good idea for them not to make Mac's dad suddenly switch. Because you don't want to throw out that sort of character arc, because they're always going to need that conflict
Yeah.
with Mac.
Yeah.
Because I mean, apart from that, Mac has no conflict with any other characters.
No.
Apart from Dennis just being
Occasionally,
creeped out with him.
Occasionally,
Yeah.
occasionally. Well, the doll.
yeah,
in season 13,
the
episode
sex
1.
doll, yeah.
It's like ridiculous.
Because Glenn Howerton did leave the show for a couple of episodes because he was writing and filming AP Bio,
Yeah.
which I think is something that they're all not starting to do more recently, but they've all got their own shows apart from Charlie Day, but he's been doing movies
Yeah.
forever. I mean,
Yeah.
was it Get Smart?
Uh,
The one with Ice Cube?
No.
No. He's in Pacific Rim.
He is in Pacific
Yeah.
Rim, and that's who.
He's in Grown Ups as well. Not Grown Ups.
I know exactly what film you're
Yeah.
talking about. The one with Ice Cube.
They're all the same. These films.
Yeah.
Conflict
Yeah.
between. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
much.
all comedy films, but
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Generic comedies. But yeah, whilst I look, somebody take over on
Yeah.
the
So, Alistair, I'll ask you first.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 episodes.
Top 3 episodes.
Top 3 episodes that you can think off the top of your head.
I can't remember what some of the names of these, but there's one on abortion where Mac has a girlfriend.
Season 1, episode 2.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
don't
is that
know.
the second
I
episode?
can't remember what that's called.
Maybe the gang gets an abortion. I know that sounds stupid, but the titles are ridiculous.
Yeah.
The titles are ridiculous.
The gang wants an abortion.
Yeah.
Oh no, Charlie wants an
Wants an
abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I like that episode a lot. Let me think. The homeless crisis, gang solves the homeless
The gang
crisis.
solves the homeless
Yeah.
crisis. That's
Where,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and what's the episode called where they're all on the plane and they all have to drink?
Beats Bob.
Beats Bogs.
Gang
The gang
Beats
Beats
Bogs.
Bogs.
Yeah.
I think those are my favourite episodes.
Fit top 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's so difficult because there's just so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like spread out across the series.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's
That's-
not just all in one.
Like series 1,
Mm.
season 6 maybe, I want to say. Solves the homeless crisis.
I think
Yeah.
that'll be 4 or 3, I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
It's very early on. I know it's very early on from Dylan.
It was Fist Fight
Fist fight.
and Horrible Bosses, Charlie Day.
Yes,
was
horrible
in,
boss. Yeah.
Which is,
Go on, Del. Your top 3.
my top 3.
Yeah. It's so difficult. It's like picking. It's like asking if you've got 3 kids to pick your favorite.
Pick your favourite kid.
It's so difficult.
I think I could say my favourite episode, which would be The Nightman Cometh,
Yeah.
which I think is like there's a bit of a consensus in
It's
there.
just the epitome. Of,
Yeah.
Of everything
Of the
Sunny.
show,
It was-
yeah.
It's not when they peaked, because I don't think they've peaked, or they're still on their peak.
Yeah.
Like, but it was just, I don't know, to do a musical episode, which is just so weird, and it just plays on Charlie's weird thoughts and his illiteracy and his love for the waitress as well, which is like the only love story, but even that, it's not like an actual love story.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't play it. She doesn't like him. She hates him. She thinks he's a creep, but he doesn't realise that, and that's where the comedy comes from, I guess. Nightman Cometh. Sweet D dates a retarded person as well.
Is that actually what the title's called?
That is the title.
Brilliant.
That is
That's
the title.
that is
You must
brilliant.
first get the Nightman.
Yeah, that is where the origin of the Nightman comes from. And
It is hard to think off the top of your
How
head.
to
I can't
afford leaving
remember-
one child out.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where they go to the water park.
Yeah.
Which is in like season 12 or 11, maybe 10.
It's very. It's
one of the
definitely
most
later
recent.
on. It's later on.
Because you can turn a HD camera, which
Yeah.
is. Yeah, so what are yours, Charlie?
Well, again, it's difficult, but being the question master, I must give my top three. Mac Day is definitely up there. I think that's
Country
brilliant
Mac,
when
yeah.
they bring in Country Mac
Country
played
Mac.
by Shawn
Oh,
Michaels.
I have no. Shawn Michaels? No, the
The
wrestler.
wrestler.
That's not Shawn Michaels.
There's somebody
That's
definitely.
not Shawn
His
Michaels.
name's Shawn something.
Shawn
I know
something.
his name's, or I might be completely wrong.
It's
Mac
a
Day, yeah.
person.
When they bring in Country Mac, played by insert name here, and it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious, and just the way they play on dark humor again.
Yeah.
Suicide is badass. Like, it's just the most ridiculous line that I've heard. In
Yeah, that
recent
is
times.
one of the
And
most ridiculous lines.
The
in
fact that the
whole
episode
show.
ends with Country Mac dying.
Exactly.
The country badass that he was. He falls off his motorbike, was drunk,
Yeah.
and dies. He gets crushed. Which, yeah,
No, it's
in the context of the episode is hilarious, but you know, if you haven't seen it and you're hearing it on a podcast laughing about somebody dying in a motorcycle accident,
we're sorry.
yeah, it is very funny if you watch the episode.
We're sorry, but yeah, it's good. Pop the final solution.
Which one's that?
That's when they go to get Charlie's painting of the German Shepherd.
Oh, yeah.
And
the Hitler
yeah.
and
original.
it's the Hitler original painting, and it's just hilarious. The
Charlie-
confrontation between Charlie and Mac,
The
where it's like,
historian.
High
yeah,
on the fucking, what's it called?
laughing gas, isn't it?
Laughing at his mouth's numb,
Yeah.
and his mouth's full of saliva.
and the braces because
Is
they
that
show
oh,
this-
yeah,
the
that's it, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
He's like, oh, Ryan Gosling playing.
Ryan Gosling
playing you? Ridiculous. But again, dark humour is brilliant. I mean, who else? I don't know anyone else who's joking about
Yeah,
Hitler's
no,
paintings.
I mean,
and
one of the
stuff like
biggest films out at the moment is Jojo Rabbit, and that's literally
True.
complete dark humour on like
Yeah.
Nazis.
Yeah.
and
that. But yeah,
World War II
yeah,
Germany.
But I mean, that's in what 2019, 2020, where
I don't
it
know
is
when.
a bit more. I feel like you're able to get away with it because also Taika Waititi is a really respected director.
Yeah.
But I mean, when Sonny did it, was like, what do you have the season written down?
Yeah,
Or is
season. It was season 8, episode 1.
So that was 2000. Quick maths. 2000.
That was like in the first series
2005.
when
2013,
Dennis's
sorry.
granddad or grandpa is,
Yeah, and
was
actually
actually
was a Nazi.
Yeah.
And Charlie wears a full, was it SS officer outfit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an
And he's
officer.
sitting, he's like, I'm not a Nazi.
it's just brilliant. And then my final was probably Reynolds versus Reynolds, the serial defense.
Oh yeah,
It's-
I love the courtroom episodes.
The courtroom episodes, and the fact that people online also analyse it as well.
Yeah,
it create
get
Eagle,
lawyered,
Eagle.
lawyered. Yeah,
Yeah,
Eagle,
yeah,
Eagle. Yeah.
where they literally will user generated content. It brings more. It brings
It-
more to the
it does.
fandom.
to the fandom, and it encourages more people to watch. Just an honourable mention quickly. The gang gets analysed. That's just
Oh,
hilarious.
that's the first episode I ever watched, and that's what got me hooked on it. Because my friend showed it me, and he was like, "If you want to get a good view of all the characters and
Yeah.
what they're like, watch this one."
Well, it's
Because
just hilarious.
it breaks it down character by character in a therapy room.
Exactly. It's like these narcissists,
Narcissists.
individuals have the chance to open up about
Yeah.
like, core issues,
And
but all they do,
It's all about
all it ends on is who does the dishes
Yeah.
yeah,
for dinner. Naturally, it's Dee, but she's sort of the laughing.
yeah,
she's
he's
the
always
butt of the
laughing.
jokes.
She's the butt of the jokes. Oh, that's a good talking point. The way women are represented in Sunny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say they're represented badly, but
Well, our core female character.
core female character D
D.
is represented.
Right,
Oh no,
on
no, no.
purpose.
She's
funny.
yeah,
It's
she's the
supposed
butt
to
of the
be funny.
joke, but
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the time she is either right or the one who's thinking sensibly,
Yeah.
and they just hate her because they want to hate her.
And they just go against
They won't listen
whatever.
to her because
Yeah, they won't listen to her
Yeah.
because
she's
you
a
know,
bird.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
bird.
references to that are just
Yeah.
constant, non-stop. But yeah, I personally think that they can get away with it simply because the audience know
yeah,
what
it's
style they're going
and
for,
it's
and
they know it's comedy.
and the fact that Rob's actually married to Caitlin,
Caitlin,
Yeah.
yeah,
so it's like it's even more perfect.
yeah. It's, I mean, yeah. They met during that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, she never was going to
Yeah, no, they.
to be on the show.
No, she wasn't. And also, she changed the show a fair bit in the writing style because
Yeah,
originally she was going to be called Sweet D all the time,
yeah,
and she was always the voice of reason in it, and she would always, and they would like still ignore it, but she would not let them get away with the stuff that they do.
yeah.
But then she was like, I don't think that's as funny, and I think I should just let you get away with all the horrible stuff that you do. And they were like, yeah, sure. And I mean, it works. It works.
Mm.
Exactly. Finally, then, how do you think it's changed from 2005
I
to
don't think
2020?
I don't think it has too much.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it has too
Apart
much.
from
'cause-
the fact that they switched to HD cameras
Yeah.
finally after like 6-7 seasons of filming.
Yeah, that's that, and the other big change is when Danny DeVito's in series 2. And
Yeah.
then he's in it
But-
for the rest of.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
didn't change the tone. It just added a new dynamic, if anything. Yeah.
Yeah, literally, I don't
It's-
think much of it's changed.
Yeah.
From
No, I
the
don't-
gang gets racist to,
To
what was the last episode? The laser tag episode.
I can't remember what it was called, but
But you
was
still get the same humour elements of dark. They go
Like,
to a laser quest and
edgy humour.
they want to
yeah.
they want to shoot all these kids in the laser tag and beat all the kids where
And
They're
everyone
all
but
adults.
Dennis sees it as a joke and it's fun, but you know, because Dennis is a control freak,
yeah,
he takes it seriously and he wants to win.
and it's just a kids game.
They
Yeah,
are. Thinking about it now, they are children in adult bodies.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
what
as
was
much
what
as
was
they
the
don't
line-
want to think they are.
What was the line from D when it was like, "You're 3 grown men, you can't raise
Oh,
$300 to get"? It's just ridiculous.
The economy is in shambles.
Um,
yeah, they're very much.
so do
they're
you
not
not
sensible people.
do you not think? I know we spoke about staleness. Do you not
Yeah.
think that they'll? Do you think they'll ever be stale?
I think it
I
was,
think they'll know when they're running stale. I think if it ever gets to a season where they're in the writer's room, they're writing and they feel like they're not doing as well and they don't feel the same passion, I think they'll either take a big break, maybe 2 years off, go and do your own thing, get some more creative influence, or they'll do a proper like season finale and it wouldn't be as funny, but it would still be a funny episode. Because I can't imagine it ending on a super serious note.
Yeah.
It'll probably end on a joke, and I think they'll know when to end.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been renewed for a 15th season, and they're all still in.
Oh, that's confirmed.
Yeah, they're all still in it, so
Yeah.
that's...
The next big question is Danny Dyer gonna? Is Danny Dyer? It's Danny
Danny Dyer.
DeVito.
Danny Dyer.
Don't
Danny
answer that question.
All right, we'll save that
We-
question for another day.
We don't want Danny DeVito to leave us anytime soon.
No, he's such a great.
I mean, he's still full of energy. He's 75, 73, 70...
I mean, just looking at him. I mean, I saw Jumanji 2 probably a couple of weeks ago,
Oh, yeah.
and compared to what he looks like in that, compared to season 14 of Sunny,
He dyes his hair. Hello. What? Alright. Okay, hello. Sorry, our camera died a minute ago, so we've had to come back and record this afterwards. But hopefully it should flow smoothly. And I mean, yeah, we'll be going into the audio only section now. So thank you for watching this.
yeah,
section.
so for our visual viewers
Audiences
and
on
audiences,
YouTube.
then if you enjoy the content, please,
Go and listen to the rest of it, please.
Yeah, please subscribe.
yeah, drop us a like, maybe give us a comment,
favourite.
We'll be reading your
Share.
comments, maybe replying to some of them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're going to switch over to the audio only. So if you want to catch that, come over to our SoundCloud.
Yeah.
We'll leave a link in the description.
Yes, we will.
As we should, because
As we should.
As we will.
Exactly. But
Okay.